pleasant good morning, one and all, and pleasant good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption, Incompetence. Welcome. What a wonderful, what a lovely day it is. I share the live. We have to start off by telling you to share the live. Let me put the scroll on to remind you that you must share the live when you come on. Share the live. Share the live and let others know that we are on today, Wednesday, the 14th day of October, 2024. We are here once again to bring you credible, valuable information. And I have to continue to compliment all those students who were in the schoolyard from as soon as the school gate was open just before 7. Then the gate was open at 6:57 or something like that this morning, and the students were already there to enter the schoolyard. And of course, once we went live, that is when the school doors, the doors are open. People are in the classroom ready. And we have so much to tell you this morning. It's usual, we finish one day. This time we would have finished. Today is Monday, so we would have finished on Wednesday. And from Wednesday to now, so much things have happened that we got to come and we got to analyze these things and bring it to your attention. My colleague, Mr. Conway, is in the studio, ready and raring to go. Today, again, another good day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. It's a privilege to be allowed to see another day and to be in this classroom to observe some valuable information. Yes, we're going to bring it to you. We're going to bring it. We have so much to tell you. Before we go on, let me just remind you, those of you who planning wedding or swan, we got wedding planning service now, We have wedding planning service. I'll tell you about it as we go along. So share the live, let people know that we're on. And as we tell you when you come on, that don't only share the live. Once the program goes live, you have to give us our thumbs up. Give us. We have very few here at the moment. I also encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and to hit the notification button so you can get notification when things are posted, when we post stuff. And the other thing on the Facebook page, just follow the page and you're going to get the information. I continue to say that I can look at the pages, both YouTube and Facebook, and I know many of you students right there have not followed the page. I know that. I can see that you're there, you're making your contributions, but you have not followed the page. So I want to implore you to follow the page, that's the Facebook, and to subscribe on YouTube. The YouTubers are here very, very early. And the reason why they are here early, most of you, is because you would have subscribed and you get a notification as soon as we go live. We posted a clip last evening, and that too is getting a lot of attention. And then this morning, clip to notify you of the program or to remind you. Some people don't need to be reminded because we know Monday and Wednesdays at 11 o'clock will be on. If there's anything that we can't come on, we'll notify you that no class is on for that particular day. So yes, share. And we have lots to tell you. And then we do the roll call. We're going to fly through the roll call again this morning. Very important. We're going to fly through. We're going to make the announcements. And then we're going to go into the meat of the program. When we schedule at 6:57, the man from the UK, 2 persons came in, 3, I think, came in. It was Wayne, Derek, Brian, Tessa. They all came in at 6:57. Then we had Conor Rookman at 6:58, Peter Noons, quite a few persons. This is Carl Johnson, Sydney, Carlton, Dexter, who has Magnell, Vibert, Rawl. They all came in at 6:58. Then at 6:59, we have Francis Keith, the man from Melanie. Then we have Courtney from New Jersey, Sean from Schenectady, New York. Kenneth is from Maryland. Then they all came in at 6:59. Also Pauline, Barbara, and then Pito came in at 7 sharp. The man came in at 7 sharp. Aubrey from Canada, Leon, Gaston, Floyd, Clifton, Anthony Bradshaw, African Queen, Felicia, George, Wayne, Winston, and Winston is from California. Rhonda Chance, Earl came in at 7:03. Then he's from, he said he's from West Coast and West Bank, Demerara. Well, sorry, he talked about the robbery plot. We're going to deal with that sometime. Hazel Clifton from Paris is here. The original black man, Gary, John, Essie, Mary from Brooklyn, Denise from Florida, Bonita, Barlett, the man from the Hills, Carlisle, Puran from Essequibo Coast, Alice, Allison, Jean, Clive from the UK, Melissa, Phil, Sharon from the UK, David, Lucius from Maryland, Anthony, Pamela from West Dem, Patricia, Derek, next Patricia, Gravesandi, she is from New Jersey. Then we have John, Leon Schwartz. Then it's Princess Earl from Lamar Springs, Colin from New Jersey, Ulrich from West Dem, Crane, West Coast, Demerara. Daniel says he's Linden in the house, Linden. And then we have Rayburn, Rawl, Fergus, Gordon, Ronald, Sandra, Sean, this is Sean Maxwell, is here, regular student. Malcolm, Patricia is here. She says she's waiting. Republic Park on the east bank of Demerara. Noel, Cecile, Aubrey, Maureen, Ezra from Queens, Brenda, Annette, Mr. Simpson is in the house. Mr. Simpson. Then we have Kevin, Morton, William, Tony, Christmas is soon approaching. Norbert, Grantley, Smitty, Vibert. Then we had Winslow. Winslow is here. He's waiting for the credible information. Howard, Danny is in the house. Welcome. Enric, Diane, Kerry. Kerry from Maryland. I think he holidaying in Guyana at the moment. Then we have Desiree from Georgia. Orin from the UK. Neville, George, Colin from Queens, Monica, Farina, Darrett, Colin, and this is Colin Burnett. Then we have Denise is here. Then it was Paul from Canada, Carl from Arizona, Bert, Wenda, Machu, Ako, Umi is here, Gary, Dennis. Dennis, welcome in the classroom, my brother. Welcome. Good to see you in the classroom. And before I go further, Dennis, please send me back your telephone number. I think we missed a digit when I got it the last time. Welcome into the classroom. Abera, Ann, Stephen, Jacko from Georgia. Got to look to see where Jacko is calling from, because he's from all over the place. Marcia, Terence from Canada, 9795. Royston, Maury is here. Monica, Kay, Ankar. Then it was Carville, Everett, the man from Texas, Mr. G. Then it was Jakey from Maryland. Marcus, Doreen from Canada, my squad mate. Karen, Rhonda Lane is in the house. Then I'm still in the house. Nigel, Benjamin, Rastaman, Michael. Then it's another, this is Michael Samuels. Then immediately follow, you had another Michael. They came in together at 9:39. Albert, then we have Vibert from the East Bank. Joseph is here. Joseph. Then it was Trevor. Then another Joseph, Caleb. Emerson, Lorraine, Terence from California, 9135. Then it is Matthew, Nigel. It's Joseph O'Neill, Claude Thomas, Glendon Wilson, 0540. Untag, Namibia, in the house. Moses, Allison, Valietta. Cello is here. Isabella, Linda, and she is from France. Jason, Sandrine, Melville is here. Then it was R. Crawford, Iron. Then it was Simone, Linden, and there's Linden, Gill, Vernon, Marcus, Ian, Harold, Ovid, George, and then immediately following is Marlin, George. They came in what time? 10:54. David is here. Amanda, Han, Beverly, Samora, the angel is here. Ridley is here. And then we had the last person is Aileen. Aileen, you barely squeeze in. She came in at 10:59. And then when we went live, Edward has regained his #1 position, followed by Abdul, from the Essequibo Coast, Karen, Joan, Simone, Joyce. Then it was after Joyce, it was Rosie is here, Steve, Brandy, Tessa, and this is Tessa Lane, and the list goes on and on and on. Bonita is here, Faye, Carol, and the list goes on. Brandy. Now, after the roll call, let me go into the announcements. As I said, we have a lot to tell you, so I'm going to run through these things. The first announcement, a sad announcement I want to make, where is it? Is the death of a friend of mine, another death of another friend. And I talk here now of Clinton Williams, death of Mr. Clinton Williams. He was formerly of the Guyana GNIC, and he also former president of the Guyana Manufacturing and Service Association, and also former chairman of the Board of Industrial Training. Clinton was a very good friend of mine. He was ailing for some time, and he passed away yesterday. I want to express condolences to the relatives, friends, other friends of Clinton, our good friend Clinton Williams. May he rest in peace and rise in glory. Now, before I bring Mr. Conway in, we have a couple of announcements and birthdays. Today is Thanksgiving in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving to our students and all the Canadians. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Also today in the United States, it is Columbus Day, a federal holiday, and also Indigenous Peoples Day. So both holidays are today, Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day in the United States. Birthdays, today is the not today. Yeah, today is the birthday of retired Superintendent Owen Trotz. Retired Superintendent Owen Trotz is also the birthday of a young cousin of mine whose mother, I'm sure, is on the live. I'm talking about Carlos Williams, my cousin and villager and neighbor. Carlos is celebrating along with Owen Trotz. They are both celebrating natal day, both anniversaries today. Want to wish you all the best. And then in terms of belated birthday greetings, Woman Assistant Superintendent Polisa Peters Finance celebrated a natal day recently. So too did Deputy Superintendent Javon Hamer, former Sergeant Sean Rabindranath, who I'm sure is on the program. Sean, the man from Schenectady, celebrated a birthday recently. Also, a former member, Annalie Hines Kelman. She was at Breakdown when I was there some years ago, CID. She celebrated a birthday recently. And I want to, we don't regularly do advanced birthday greetings, but today we have to give advanced birthday given to a special person. And that person is no other than Winston Gordon Felix, former Commissioner of Police, who will be celebrating his natal day tomorrow, October the 15th. So all those who are celebrating today, all those celebrated recently, and Winston and others who are celebrating tomorrow, all the best for you guys. Happy birthday to you all. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we are going to move on. CC, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work. Birthday greetings to all those persons that you mentioned and related, and also advance to Winston Gordon Felix, former Commissioner of Police and a minister in the government. I think we have a very packed card today, so let's shuffle the pack and let's get on with it.
Yeah, let's get on with it. Let me get on. We got to start off with some of the lighter stuff, cricket. I know Aileen, Jakey, Jacko, all of these people. Yesterday, the West Indies won the first T20 against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka batted first. They were sent in. They made 179, 179. And West Indies replied, and they made the 180 required in the first ball of the last over. But let me say this. I mean, it was a good performance. But given the start that the West Indies had with Lewis and King, man, the thing should have come easier. I had some worry because I know with the Sri Lankan spin, Saranga and Tikshana and these people, I said they might have bothered the West Indies batsmen. But they did well. They did outstandingly well. And congratulations to them. Now, before that, we had a match with India and Bangladesh. T20 again, India made 297. 297 batting force. That got to be somewhere close. 297 was six, I must add. Somewhere close to a record in a T20. Very soon, if they continue like that, they're going to be making 300 runs in a T20 game. And then we had a remarkable test match with England and Sri Lanka. Right? England, Pakistan, sorry. England, Pakistan. Pakistan batted for us and made 556. 556. Those of you in the cricket world will tell me, and we all know, we would say that if you make that amount of runs, 556 runs, you shouldn't lose the game. You shouldn't lose the game. Right? The worst can happen to you is that the game should draw. Not in this case. England replied with 823 for 7 declared. They made 556. England replied with 823 for 7 declared and bowled them out in the second innings for 220. So notwithstanding the fact that Pakistan made 556 runs in the first innings, they lost by innings. They got 2-1 then, as we would say, as little by. You make 556 runs and still get 2-1. So, you got to bring these things remarkable. That's why we say cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. Cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. And that is why we love it. That is why we love it. All the ups and downs and all that. Now, moving on. Tomorrow, the 15th of October, is 3 years since I was manhandled. Yeah, I remember that in the Judicial Magistrate Court compound on the 15th day of October 2021. The ranks, I'm going to tell you them, they're going to say you're trying to intimidate witnesses, but the facts are the facts. Christian Nat Ramana, who was an ASP then, Yard Corporal 17955 Winston Singh, I think he's now a sergeant. Constable 23-100 Conrad Thomas, I don't know where he is now, and Constable 23-975 Shakil Duke. These were all members of SOKU. And just a quick reminder that they summoned me to attend court with a trumped up charge of conspiracy to commit fraud. They summoned me. They issued a summon to my lawyer. Right? Even that, we didn't want to question the mode of service because we know policemen, that is not proper service. You can't leave a summon with the lawyer. The lawyer says so. That's not what the lawyer said. But they left it and the lawyer said we aren't fighting anything. So I returned to Guyana on the 13th of October, 2021, with the sole purpose of attending court on the 15th in response to this summons. And when I arrived in the Judicial Magistrate Court compound, those officers that I called, they are there, and Romana arrested me. They will on for me, manhandling me to say they arrested me for the same charge that I'm appearing in court for, the very same charge that I'm appearing for. The lawyers there, Mr. Selwyn Peters and Mr. Patrice Henry, intervened, and then eventually I went up to the court. They accompanied me up to the court, and then they got a call, and then I see the scamper, and they went away. Well, tomorrow is going to be the 3rd anniversary. And the law is that if you want to bring a civil action against them, you have to do so within 3 years. And I'm happy to report that last week, my lawyers filed a civil action on my behalf against the Attorney General and these ranks for what they did on that day. So let the court say whether it is appropriate, whether it is lawful, whether it is constitutional for the police, especially SOKU, to be arresting someone who is appearing in court to answer the very charge that they summoned him for. They institute the charge, they file the summons, and they are arresting you for the same charge. So I want the court to determine whether that act was lawful. So it is filed. We keep it close, keep them thinking. That's part of the strategy. When I believe nothing can come in, we filed it during the course of last week, before the statutory period was over. So I want to let you all know that is, let's see where that will go. Let's see where it will go, but I have filed the constitutional motion against the Attorney General. You got to file against the Attorney General, and then he will represent, I guess, the police. And let me see how they represent that action. And let me bring in Mr. Conway to comment on that, and then we're going to move on. I moved to the court during the course of the week last week there. Your comments, my brother?
Well, long overdue. Better late than never. And as you said, get them guessing. And I was there at the court. I was there at the court when they manhandled you, and better judgment prevailed. If you were the real passed through, well, I know what would have happened. And they were so wrong. Leaving a summons at a lawyer isn't proper service. Isn't proper service. The man leave it at the last and most usual place of abode uh, with somebody of discriminate age, having read and explained the nature of the document and requested an early delivery. I used to serve summons, and when I leave them, there's evidence you gotta go in court and give if you want to get ex parte trial. But they imagine they summon you and you go in and watch me arrest you at the court step. You're climbing up the step to answer the summons, and they arrest you. Proceed, buddy.
As no done as you like, you right, Chilo, no done as you like. I know again we use these examples to teach the young policemen, because it is clear that they are not taught these things. And what Mr. Conway explained there just now is what we call personal service. If you're going to serve a summon on a person, the personal service is, and this is what the law says, you either give it to the individual who is named on the summon in person, or you leave it as it lasts an usual place of abode with someone of discriminatory age who you will read and explain the summon to and ask for it to be delivered as soon as possible. That is what we were taught. That is what the law says. But then what we have now, we have a lot of people there. And again, I sympathize with these ranks, not only the junior ones, I sympathize with even some of the senior ones because they don't know. They are not taught these things. These things used to be routine when we were when I joined the force. You got to know how to serve summons. You got to know how to make arrests. You got to know the mode of arrest. And we're going to deal with that later because there's a scathing report once again from the Complaints Authority about the conduct of the police in these matters. We're going to go into it in a little while from now. Now, one of the things I want to talk about again, the things are so disgraceful. We have recently two retired judges, Mr. Franklin Ola and Mr. Brassington Reynolds, have to move to the court. In other words, they have to sue the government to get the benefits what they get. Quickly, what it says, two retired High Court judges, Justice Franklin Ola and Brassington Reynolds, have returned to the court but not to serve on the bench. Instead, they are both seeking a judicial review against a decision by the government not to pay them retroactive salary increase of 8% on their salaries dating back to December 2021. The judges filed two separate fixed date applications in the High Court on Thursday. Their attorney, and the attorneys are named, the Attorney General Anil Nandalal, the Judicial Service Commission, Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Ashley Singh, the Finance Secretary, Pasa, and the Principal Assistant Secretary, Finance Department of the Supreme Court, all have been named as the respondents in this matter. The judges in their application explained that as constitutional office holders, they were entitled to a salary increase of 8% with effect from January 1st, 2022 on their annual rate of salary as of December 31st, 2021. However, the government subsequently took a decision to limit the increase to all traditional public servants, staff of constitutional agencies, and members of the discipline services employed as of December 31st, 2022. The decision the retired judges further explained affected their pension. So they denied them this retroactive payment, which affects their pension and the gratuity. And so they are now forced to move to the court. And the question is this: let's say how much money you think these people gotta get? Is there no big sum of money that they're denying them for a government? But in terms of the people's emoluments and that, it's significant to them. But this is vindictive, spiteful people denying two High Court judges the 8% increase where they gave everybody else, and then they decide that they can't get it. This thing is disgraceful. When I showed those two gentlemen, once they retire, want to spend their life very quietly, enjoying their retirement, do a little reading, do a little writing, they give advice to people and all of that. Here it is, they have to go back to the court. They have to file a fixed date application against the government to make sure that they're going to get the benefit. I want to see where this will go, because well, it is interesting to see where this will go indeed, because if they deny these two, one can very well expect those that are sitting now are likely to be denied as well. So let's see where this will go. Mr. Conway, your
I
take on
I
this
I
thing, where the judges
I
are
know those
receiving.
two. I know those two honorable gentlemen. I appeared before them. Reynolds, or when he was a magistrate on the East Coast, and then High Court, um, the other honorable judge. But the thing is history repeating itself. I remember they did it to their own. Remember, do not sing. Who said that he secretly swearing Janet Jackson as president, and he had to carry them to court to get his proper pension. He had to carry them to court to get their own. Who said that he secretly sworn in Janet Jackson as president, and he had to carry them to court to get his thing. So there's nothing strange with his present government. But I'm happy that the two honorable judges are fighting the case, and I wish them success.
I wish there will be success as well, because you got to set the record straight. Just like my lawsuit is not necessarily about the money, it's to make sure that a ruling is given by the court as to what is the correct thing. That is what you got to do, right? But shame. They say shame is something that some people can get, and they say conscience is something some people can get. We used to say in the country, cockroach eat out the conscience. Now bring us to the next matter. We can deal with this wedding planning and thing in a while. But I think it's important, today's paper, if you read today's Stabrook News, I saw an article there which I believe is very, very important to bring to your attention. It is captioned, "Damning report finds misuse of power, intimidation, and ignorance in police operations last year." This is a report from the Police Complaints Authority. The Police Complaints Authority now is retired Justice William Ramlal. If you get certain matters, he has to investigate against the police, and he is required to file an annual report. So this report that he filed reflects what took place last year, 2023. And the article reads, I'm going to read part of it. You got to understand, so I'm going to read it. Bear with me. In a damning indictment of the Ghana Police Force, its oversight body, in its latest report, has described numerous shortcomings, including ignorance of or failure to adhere to standing orders, ignorance of fundamental rights and key laws, misuse of police powers, alleged unlawful arrest, and intimidation. That is what the Police Complaints Authority is reporting in its 2023 report. It goes on. These and other concerning defects within the Guyana Police Force are highlighted in the Police Complaints Authority PCA 2023 annual report, distributed on October the 10th, 2024. In the report, the PCA chairman, and there's no PCA chairman, it's a PCA, Justice Retired William Ramlal, detailed numerous violations of the PCA Act and raised concern about the oversight and accountability of police actions, particularly regarding fatal incidents involving officers. Contacted head of the Guyana Police Force Corporate Communications Unit, Mark Ramatar, said he was unaware if the PCA chairman had shared the 2023 report with the Guyana Police Force or its senior command. Let me stop right there. There's no such requirement. Mark Ramatar, the law, read the law. Police Complaints Authority Act, Chapter 17:02. I think it's about Section 25 or something. I made it clear. This report has to go to the Director of Public Prosecutions and to the Commissioner of Police. And if you're saying that the senior officers did not see it, it's because the Commissioner of Police did not share it with them. Because the law mandates, and I'm sure that the Complaints Authority would have followed the law, that the report be submitted to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Commissioner of Police. So to come to say that you're unsure if these things were shared with the or its Guyana Police Force or its senior command. Let me move on. However, having said that, on October the 12th, 2024, the Guyana Police Force issued a statement addressing concerns raised in the report. So Ramatar said he didn't sure whether the report was submitted. But then on the 12th, he then issued a statement concerning the report. The statement specifically addressed the number of complaints filed against Guyana Police Force personnel, calling the figure relatively minor when compared with the vast number of interactions the Ghana Police Force had with the public each year. Listen to it carefully. Minor. The PCA reported that 194 complaints were received against police officers, with 53 rejected and 22 pending investigations. While this may suggest widespread issues, the GPF argued the numbers do not adequately reflect the overall performance of its officers. It stressed that complaints represent a small fraction of the thousands of cases handled in 2023. According to the report, no information was provided to the Police Complaints Authority regarding censure, which raised questions about disciplinary measures taken against police officers. Notably, the report cited 4 cases of fatal police shooting that were referred to the PSC for investigation. However, Justice Ramlal said he was unable to fulfill his statutory obligations because he did not supervise the investigations as required under the law. The investigations were conducted without proper oversight, a breach of sections 12, 13, and 14 of the PCA, that's the Police Complaints Authority Act, he said, asserting that the police were effectively acting as judge and jury in their own cause or in their own cases. Quote, these matters were all investigated by the police in flagrant violation of the law, end of quote. Justice Ramlal stated, noting that files concerning the cases were never forwarded to the PCA. He has urged President Irfan Ali to intervene, insisting that it is imperative for the president to clarify to the top cop that such breaches could not continue. The PCA Act mandates that the authority is notified of any complaint regarding police conduct, especially in cases resulting in death. According to Justice Ramlal, failure to follow these procedures undermine the authority and ability to fulfill its role, particularly of submitting comprehensive reports to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shalimar Aliak. Compounding the issue, Ramlal revealed that several officers facing criminal charges remain on active duty, contrary to the Ghana Police Force standing order. Of the 17 members recommended for disciplinary action, none have been brought before the discipline authority, suggesting a troubling culture of impunity within the ranks. With regards to the misuse of police powers, alleged unlawful arrest, and intimidation, the Ghana Police Force statement asserted that many of the incidents were unintentional and that the GDF strove to operate within the legal boundaries. Quote, we recognize that mistakes can occur, but our officers are trained to adhere to the law and fulfill their duties responsibly, end of quote. The Ghana Police Force or a Ghana Police Force spokesperson stated. The report further criticized Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Ekin's failure to consult the PCA regarding misconduct charges and disciplinary penalties as mandated by Section 9.3 and 9.4 of the Police Complaints Authority Act. Justice Ramlal stated that this lack of communication has significant implications as it undermines the authority of the PCA and the rule of law. Mr. Ekin is yet to respond to this. Justice Ramlal highlighted alarming trends in police conduct, including instances where officers facing criminal charges remain actively on duty rather than being suspended, which contravenes the Ghana Police Force standing order. He added that many officers were reportedly settling criminal matters with complainants, which raised ethical concerns about accountability and transparency. Regarding the suspension of officers, the Ghana Police Force statement said that there were established procedures in place to uphold the rule of law during investigations. It stressed the importance of maintaining discipline and order within the ranks. On the topic of disciplinary action, the Ghana Police Force statement said that if an officer settled a matter with a complainant outside of criminal proceedings, disciplinary charges might not be pursued due to lack of evidence. The policy aims to ensure fairness and due process within the Ghana Police Force, the statement added. We can analyze it a little more. It goes on. Justice Ramlal finding also pointed to troubling lack of knowledge among police officers regarding fundamental rights and key laws. His investigations included interviews with over 300 officers which revealed a significant gap in their understanding of the Ghana Police Force's standing orders and constitutional rights as outlined in Article 138 to 153 of the Constitution. He emphasized the urgent need for training at all levels of the police force to prevent violation of citizens' rights. Quote, without a proper grasp of these laws, police investigations are flawed and can lead to serious legal repercussions for the state, end of quote. The PCA chairman cautioned. He stressed that the PCA's mandate should not be undermined and called for immediate action to ensure compliance with the PCA Act. While the PCA report claimed that 95% of the police officers surveyed were unaware of their powers of arrest, the Ghana Police Force statement questioned the validity of these findings. It cited lack of information regarding the sample size, and context of the survey. The GPF emphasized its commitments to improving officers' understanding of their legal responsibility through continuous training and workshops, according to the statement. Addressing specific concerns about traffic crimes misusing their powers, the Ghana Police Force reiterated its policy of not detaining individuals for traffic offenses where imprisonment was not a potential outcome. The statement said that the Ghana Police Force characterized incidents of unjustified arrest as isolated, asserting that these do not reflect standard operating procedures. The Ghana Police Force Academy, according to the statement, remains dedicated to enhancing the skills of its ranks through comprehensive training and innovative strategies. By fostering a culture of accountability and continuously evaluating the practices, the Ghana Police Force aims to uphold the highest standard of law enforcement and strengthen its service to the community, the statement said. And then the article points out, in August 2023, Acting Commissioner of Police was accused of serious violations of the PCA Act in a report that was also part of the PCA's 2022 annual report. Then, as now, significant concerns were raised regarding oversight of police conduct and the integrity of investigations into police-related deaths. Then we go on to some numbers and so on. But this is a very damning report indeed. And as I said, this is a report for 2023. The report for 2022 called out the acting commissioner Ikin by name and said that he was violating the Police Complaints Authority Act. They call out and the thing continues, the same thing itself. In the 2022 report, which was prepared last year, the Complaints Authority also called on the president to intervene, to instruct that Ikin, the acting commissioner, complies with the Police Complaints Authority Act. It will appear that nothing was done. Instead of calling on the acting commissioner to carry out the act, the president is talking about promoting him to substantive commissioner. That is where we are. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. We have to analyze the statement, but I'm going to bring in Mr. Conway, and then I'm going to go through some aspects of the statement that need some more analysis. CC, your views on this article in today's students is today's Stabrook News. Today's Stabrook News. Go ahead.
The report from the PSC is damning, as it was the previous year. And of particular concern should be the part where, it's saying that the investigation of where persons died in the hands of the police, that the PS and other offenses, that the PSC must supervise investigation. And let me read it, and it is mandatory. Section 12 says, of the 12.1, this part shall apply in relation to any complaint or information that any member of the force has unlawfully caused the death of any person or has committed any offense referred to in section 48, 49, or 50, section 55 read with section 56, or section 57 of the Criminal Offences Act, or such other offenses as may be specified by the minister by order. And section 14 saying the authority shall supervise the investigation of every complaint or information of this nature referred to in Section 12. So the act is clear, and there is a total violation. What they're doing, they're putting OPR to investigate. The act is clear. Certain sections, person die in certain section in the Criminal Offence Act, that the commissioner has got to inform the PAC in writing, and that would trigger the PAC to supervise the investigation. But all they're saying is that, hey, OPR investigating, and the PAC was correct, because basically when they got to him after they do the investigation, he said he can't write inside it because he did not supervise it, so he can't send it, and he can't send any recommendations to the DPP. I think I read some a couple of years ago a case where I think some policeman got charged there for murder or manslaughter in relation to the death of somebody, and he got off on the grounds that, hey, the PAC did not supervise the investigation. We heard about that Sergeant Vaughn, and they say in the initial report that the shooting wasn't intentional, and up to now we can't get anything about it. So they're breaching the Police Complaints Act, and all those things. You talk to police and ask them what section 135 to 153, talking about the rights of citizens. Ask them about it, and they can't tell you because this thing done. They're talking about training. Nothing is being done. Things not being embedded in the ranks. I'm not talking not only training for recruits, right up the line. The rights of citizens are being constantly violated by policemen, and nothing is being done to correct the situation. I'll stop here, and then we're going to analyze other part of that report.
Yeah, but you were saying PAC, but I know we know you mean is PCA, the Police Complaints Authority. So let me
Yes.
clarify that with the student.
Yeah. Yeah.
My colleague man, the Police Complaints
Complaints
Authority,
Authority,
PCA.
police
But let me
complaints.
say
Yeah.
this.
PCA.
Let me say this. As we analyze further, and we have said this before. There's nothing in the law, the Police Complaints Authority Act, Chapter 1702, which speaks to a chairman of the Police Complaints Authority. You get this right. They always talk about the chairman, even in this article. There is no chairman. Mr. William Ramlal, retired judge, is the Police Complaints Authority. He's not a chairman of a body. He is the Police Complaints Authority. So let me clarify that from the beginning. But then, they as I've said before, I did address this. They said they contacted Mark Ramatar, and that he said he was unaware if the Police Complaints Authority chairman, no chairman, chaired the 2023 report with the Ghana Police Force. The law requires that the report, which is compiled annually, is sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Commissioner of Police. It is for the Commissioner of Police to bring it to the attention of his officers. When this thing became very, very into effect during Larry Lewis, I remember that very well. When Larry Lewis was commissioner, and this gentleman Kennard was the PCA Police Complaints Authority, and he used to put the report and so on. Larry Lewis established in almost every major police division a complaints authority, desk, so to speak. So you had to, someone who was dedicated to following up on all the reports made, and commanders had to report at the weekly meetings about the progress on these reports. It was kept on the front burner. Now the law, as we are explaining, clearly states if a person dies as a result of police action and certain other offenses, wounding, discharging, loaded firearm, under certain other offenses on the Criminal Offences Act, once those complaints are made to the police, the Commissioner of Police is mandated to inform the Police Complaints Authority so that they can supervise the investigation. And the law explains what I mean by supervising the investigation. The Complaints Authority asks them who is investigating. I'm not satisfied with that investigator, put somebody else. And he monitors the process. Statements are taken, I'm not satisfied with that statement, and That is how the investigation should be properly monitored to make sure at the end of the day, the complaints authority can comment before the file goes to the DPP. The police complaints authority has to give its comments in writing in the file. In the one matter that CC just referred to, it would appear, based on my information, it is alleged that they send the file to the DPP without the file going to the police complaints authority, and somebody then recognized the mistake, and then they send it to the DPP, to the complaints authority. And I suspect part of the delay in that matter is because the police complaints authority did not supervise the investigation as is mandated by the law. And Mr. Ramlal is not going to rubber stamp anything. He is not going to do so. The law is the law. The law said that the police complaints authority must supervise the investigation. So I'm not surprised that the acting commissioner continues to violate the act. It's out of ignorance, perhaps out of arrogance as well, operate with impunity. And if you got that type of behavior at the top, imagine what happening down at the bottom. And as we say, regardless of all of this, this is a report, as the complaints authority said. Last year, report went to the president. This year, report again gone to the president. And rather than taking action, rather than causing the commissioner, the acting commissioner, to follow the law, they're talking about promoting the man, even though he has passed the age of retirement. We're going to deal with that a little later. But going to the statement further, it says, according to the report, no information was provided to the PCA for 2023 regarding censure, which raised question about disciplinary measures taken against police officers. But I can tell you, because when I was at the Police Service Commission, I did a survey and discovered that in a large percentage of cases that are investigated by the OPR and goes to the DPP, these cases go to the DPP for review. Disciplinary charges are recommended in many cases, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I had the figures there. Same thing with the PCA, the Police Complaints Authority. When they investigate the matter and they recommend disciplinary action against you, nothing happens. In the majority of cases, nothing happens. So people operate with impunity. I know that because I checked the record and I discovered that the most prevalent cases in the whole of the thing, and challenging them to dispute that, was absent from duty. So all of these neglect and the assaults and all these things, no, nothing happening there. Absent from duty. About 90% of the cases that are the disciplinary charges that are brought for ranks absent from duty. And then it goes on to say, Justice Ramla said he was unable to fulfill his statutory obligation because he did not supervise the investigations as required under the law. The investigations were conducted without proper oversight, a breach of sections 12, 13, and 14 of the Police Complaints Authority Act. He said, asserting that police were effectively acting as judge and jury in their own cases. What a damning report. What a damning report. Then he said, these matters were all investigated by the police in flagrant violation of the law. Where they know the law? You can know the law. You get lawyers. At the time you had Brutus admitted to practice law. Well, perhaps he had his own, he was preoccupied with other stuff. You have the crime chief is a lawyer, or they admitted to practice law. You mean they're seeing these violations and bring it? Or I can't blame them. For all you know, they might want to say they are bringing it to the attention, but nothing is being done because here all are going up. You don't take advice and so on. They believe that they know it all. And then he goes on to say, then he said the president urged, he has urged, that the Police Complaints Authority has urged the president, Irfan Ali, to intervene, insisting that it is imperative for the president to clarify to the top cop that such breaches could not continue. This is what he did in the report for 2022. He's doing it again for the report for 2023. It is clear the president don't intend to take no action against the acting commissioner for all of these egregious violations that are pointed out by the Police Complaints Authority. It is clear that no, he doesn't intend to take any action. Let me read one more aspect and then I'm going to bring Mr. Conway. Compounding these issues, Ramnal revealed that several officers facing criminal charges remain on active duty, contrary to the Guyana Police Force standing order. Of the 17 members recommended for disciplinary action, none has been brought before the Police Disciplinary Authority, suggesting a troubling culture of impunity without it in the ranks. None. So even as I've said before, even when the Police Complaints Authority investigate and recommend disciplinary charges, he said nothing is being done. And I support that because I did the research and I found nothing is being done. The files are there, nothing is being done. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. CC, your comment on those parts.
Yeah, and he even mentioned also, that persons charged before the court and not interdicted on active duty. Remember on the scores there we had Inspector Roop, who was charged criminally, and he was there on active duty all the time until we started raise it, and then they interdicted him. We had one in Barbies for months, charged and still performing duties. And as you rightly mentioned, if that the Commissioner Larry Lewis had a hand in this thing, that we had to get, I think, monthly meetings. We had to submit returns of the PCA recommendation and charges. And even after that, the head of the PAC used to visit all the divisions and hold discussion with the ranks, about the role of the PAC and these kind of things. But I don't know what, maybe they don't hold those meetings. They don't have a monthly return, checking what's the position in this case, what's the position in that case, as the case may be. And it's true, a lot of recommendations being made and no action is taken. And if the commissioner himself doesn't play an active role in the thing don't brush on the carpet. On the cap is going to go that way, unless the commissioner is actively involved. But then the commission doing nothing. Although scathing reports, damning reports, saying that the president must ensure that the commissioner take action, but the commissioner taking no action year before, the other year, and it continued to happen all the time. So the situation is a sickening one, that they continue to violate the rights of citizens and no action is taken. Police don't know the powers of arrest according to the PAC. Police don't know about the rights of citizens. Section 135 to 153, they don't know the rights of the articles 153, 135 to 153. They don't know their rights, and those things are critical. Therefore, they will continue to violate the rights of citizens unless proper action is taken.
Yeah, it's called for proper management, which is clearly lacking. Proper management of the process is clearly lacking. And this report by the Police Complaints Authority, you have to remember, when you talk about violation, people don't know their rights and so on. Remember in the case of Tamika Clark, the lawyer, who is now a magistrate, who advised her client not to give a statement to Soku. And Ramana at Soku, who is now Commander Region 1, arrested her for informing our client of his constitutional rights to refuse to give a statement. A superintendent who was a leading investigator at Soku, he didn't know the laws. He didn't know. So the comment tell you that he didn't know. Or if you know, he just decided he's going to violate it flagrantly. And he arrested Miss Clark. And the matter went to court because they sued. And the Chief Justice had to tell the police that every policeman, including the commissioner, she didn't say it in that word, but she said every member of the force must be made to do classes in relation to human rights in the force, how to treat people. That is there. And what they did, they responded basically by saying, all right, as you said, we must do it. We can do it, but we've been doing it all the time. That is in essence what the response was. I have it somewhere there. It was in the media. That was the response. And we can clearly see that it has continued because it's about 2 years ago. It has continued where the PCA has repeatedly reported that the policemen don't know their powers of arrest. We have seen where a video we show where a policeman telling a man that if you video record, he can charge you with cybercrime and all them type of thing. That is what is going on. And again, I say, you can't totally blame the junior ranks because they're not exposed to the type of training. I have had interaction with ranks many times, and they will tell you even the things that they learn on this program. Nobody teaches them that in the college or elsewhere. Nobody. They're talking about police academy, and who is at the academy to instruct and to lecture to these people? They don't have the quality people. That's the problem. And therefore, ranks pass through the training school, or they call them now the academy or whatever. They go out on the road and they don't understand certain basic things. Basic stuff. Look, somebody pointed out to me the other day about police on the East Coast, men directing traffic. He said the signals that you know them, the authorized traffic signals by the police, they're going through the window, they're doing their own thing. They're wearing ropes and band white gloves, and they're doing their own thing. These are basic things that we were taught back in the day. How to direct traffic, how to make arrest, when you can lawfully arrest a person, all of those things. Larceny and all those things you have to know by definition. But what happening now? People pass through the college. They had some 3 months and some 2 months police. They come through, they go there. They hardly know anything. And the follow-up training is not there. So you go to the college, they don't have instruction classes, you don't have refresher courses, so the ranks are left to the mercies of Tiberius, so to speak. So, and then he goes on to say, Justice Ramlal highlighting alarming trends in police conduct, included instances where officers facing criminal charges remain in active duty, and well, I read that before. And then he said, here, Mark Brown, regarding the suspension of officers, the Ghana Police Force statement said that there were established procedures in place to uphold the rule of law during investigations. You're talking about during investigations. We're talking here about policemen charged, investigation done, and they're charged and then before the court. So to come to during investigation, it stresses the importance of maintaining discipline and order within the ranks. The importance, what is the importance? What are you doing to maintain discipline and order within the ranks? On the topic of disciplinary action, the police statement said that if an officer settled matter with a complainant outside of criminal proceedings, disciplinary charges might not be pursued due to the lack of evidence. This policy aims to ensure fairness and due process within the Guyana Police Force. I never hear I'm gonna say it, I never hear so much shit yet. A rank is accused of committing a criminal offense. You talk about settling. Any settlement, and it ought to be done, that should not be encouraged. If the virtual complainant does not want to go any further, he should go before the magistrate and make that statement. Because once you get into the process where police settling these matters because they accused, you're compromising the whole thing. In my day, not only policemen, other people, you come, you make a complaint, the matter is investigated. In particular, in my divisions, you come to say you don't want any further police action, I tell you, go to court and make the statement. I will instruct that the person must be charged. Let them go to court and let the virtual complainant indicate to the magistrate that they do not wish for the matter to continue any further. That saves the police. That saves the police, because when you do anything other than that, you're going to hear money pass. You're going to hear some friend or some family. That is basic things that the commanders ought to know. A complaint is made, even when the complaint is made against the policeman, you investigate, you find evidence. Policeman can't say he's settling the matter. He can't say he's settling. Even the virtual complainant can't settle with the police at that level. Go to court and let the virtual complainant go into the witness box and inform the magistrate that he or she does not wish to continue with the matter. And then the magistrate will discharge the matter. And again, I say, that saves you, the police, and nobody can go and make complaint. So you take money for the matter and go further, or because it's somebody's friend, the family, or the favorite. Them is basic things that commanders were taught and we implemented back in the day. So for Mark Ramatard to come and tell us that ensure what fairness is ensuring. A criminal report is made against a rank. And you want to tell me the rank is then allowed to settle, and that is in fairness? That is in fairness to what? in fairness to due process? What crap you talking there? Whoever that said the Ghana Police Force statement. I don't know who gave the statement, but initially they talk about the director or the man in charge of public, the cooperation youth, Mark Ramatar. Then he said Justice Ramlal findings also pointed out to a troubling lack of knowledge among police officers regarding fundamental rights and key laws. His investigation included interview with 300 officers, which revealed a significant gap in their understanding of the Ghana Police Force's standing order and constitutional rights as outlined in Article 138 to 153 of the Constitution. He emphasized the urgent need for training at all levels of the police force to prevent violation of citizens' rights, rather than acknowledge that there's need for training at all levels as indicated by the Chief Justice some years ago, as indicated now by the Police Complaints Authority. Hear what these people say, and I quote, without a proper grasp of these, that is what the PCA continues to say, without a proper grasp of these laws, police investigations are flawed and can lead to serious legal repercussions for the state. The Attorney General made similar comments some time ago, where he said that because of the police violating people's rights, the government has had to pay a whole set of money. Nonetheless, the Attorney General said that some mornings back. So this is nothing new that the Police Complaints Authority is saying, but yet still it continues. The chairman cautioned, he stressed the PCA mandate should not be undermined and called for immediate action to ensure compliance with the Complaints Authority Act. While the Police Complaints Authority claimed that 95% of the police officers surveyed were unaware of their powers of arrest, the Ghana Police Force statement questioned the validity of the findings. There I pass, or as country people say, here Ras pass. The Police Complaints Authority is telling you, is reporting this, which has to be tabled to Parliament. And he's saying 95%, you believe he pulled this out of the thin air? He said 95% of officers surveyed were unaware of the powers of arrest. And then it cited, the statement questioned the validity of this finding. It cited lack of information regarding the sample size and context of the survey. The Ghana Police Force emphasized its commitment to improving officers' understanding of the legal responsibilities through continuous training and workshops, according to the statement from the police. This is IPAS, the Police Complaints Authority, to say that to question the validity. Imagine the police get the audacity to say they're questioning the validity of the Police Complaints Authority statement. I hope that the Police Complaints Authority will follow this up. We'll follow it up with another report I think he reports to the president, and calling out these people for this nonsense, what they're writing here. In other words, basically they're telling the public that the Police Complaints Authority, I know what you're doing. Now, when you're going to say the Ghana Police Force questioned the validity of those findings, it cited lack of information regarding the sample size and context of the survey. That is the IPAS that you have. That is the IPAS that is being encouraged in the police force, right? And then the party, before I bring in Mr. Conway again, addressing specific concerns about traffic ranks misusing the powers, the Ghana Police Force reiterated its policy of not detaining individuals for traffic offenses where imprisonment was not a potential outcome. The statement said the Ghana Police Force characterized incidents of unjust arrest as isolated, assessing that these did not reflect standard operation procedure. Now, anybody who live in Guyana and moving around will know that these are not isolated incidents. They will know that these are not isolated incidents. It's more the rule than the exception, where you stop without any just cause and people are arrested. What are you being arrested for? This is where the arrogance is going to come. They can't tell you what you're being arrested for. Many cases they don't know. It's just bullyism. It's just bullyism. And for the police to come out with this statement to tell me that they're sorting that these do not reflect standard operation procedure. What are the standing operation procedures? I recall some years ago when Silal Prasad was commissioner and Clement Roy was Minister of Home Affairs, they came out publicly saying that police must not especially those ones on the motorcycle and so on, must not take people document, must not, and they said must not, and the thing continued, and they were powerless to do anything. So up to day like today, the police complaints authority got a report on similar incidents, and they come out with this nonsensical statement to say about sample size and all. I'm bringing Mr. Conway. CC,
Yeah. The
brother.
All right. I make a statement. The performance of any organization, including the police, that does not respond to well-founded criticism with a willingness to change would be prosaic, would be dull, would be unimaginative. That here it is, the police complaints authority giving them valid information based on analysis, and they enter into the 54th state, a state of denial. They start denying from the inception instead of looking at it. And they talk about samples. He said 300 persons, and 300 is a whole lot. So from the inception, they're in a state of denial. Therefore, they can't change things. They can't change things. Will not happen for the best because they don't deny. No. This is happening. The PCA wrong, and no proper sample and all sort of thing. They're developing the wrong attitude. And part of policing, the flaw of policing is that they don't listen. They don't listen. They got to listen and analyze, and then take it from there, take the action from there. But no, they're in a state of denial, like in the O.J. Simpson case, they're in a state of denial.
They're in a state of denial. Let me say this before I move off from this subject. We alluded to the fact that in last year, in the 2023 report, when you reported the period 2022, the Police Complaints Authority, it says here, and this is Stabrook News of August the 15th, 2023. You can go and read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the headline what it says. Police Complaints Ed accuses top cop of violating act. In a scathing report, Chairman of the Police Complaints Authority, Justice Retired William Ramlal, has accused Police Commissioner Clifton Ikin Acting of flagrantly violating the Governing Act and recommended that President Irfan Ali put a stop to it. It is my recommendation that His Excellency the President, and this is quoting, it is my recommendation that His Excellency the President makes it clear to the Commissioner of Police that he cannot continue to violate the law. That was 2023 report reflecting in the 2022 period. And it has continued. Again, hear what he says. Hear what he says. It is recommended that His Excellency the President makes it clear to the Commissioner of Police that he cannot continue to violate the law. The acting commissioners continue to violate the law with impunity. And indications are that the President wants to reward him for violating the law. And not only that, not only that law, he has been violating the constitutional rights of persons. He personally, I refer here to the matter with the Quindon Bacchus killing, where Quindon Bacchus, Thorsten Simon, and Damian McClellan were charged. On the very day these people appeared to court, in Damian McClellan's case, he was never at the site or anything like that. He charged with some perverting the course of justice that he made some statement that wasn't true. That is what they said. He charged. And on the very day, I think it was the 5th of July, 2022, when he appeared in court, they got dismissed on the same day. So there's no presumption of innocence. They weren't interdicted. They were dismissed from the same day. A clear violation of their constitutional right. There are 3 constables in Barbies with that fiasco with the officer who lost his firearm, or according to the commander who misplaced his firearm. It misplaced, but they can't find it up to now. They can't find it up to now. And those 3 poor constables were dismissed. They weren't given a chance to be heard. No natural justice. no presumption of innocence. They were dismissed by ICIN. They were dismissed by ICIN. Right? So it's not only what the Police Complaints Authority is referring to, but other violations. And what will happen? The people will sue. I hope they do. They go to court, and the court will find it in their favor, no doubt. And we, the taxpayers, got to pay. And those persons who are there are rewarded. They are rewarded with promotions and all of that. But let me be moving on to the next subject. Before I move on to the next subject, you have to share. You got to share this thing, share some more, because this subject now relates to what we say, this poco. We're talking about this investigation that SOCU is supposed to be doing in connection with the money laundering and financial impropriety that they say. We're going to talk about it now. So before we talk about it, share, like and share. Like and share. Let me get some chance to pull my notes together and like and share. Like and share, my brothers and sisters. Like and share. Let me pause for perspiration cause, because this can carry to the end of the program. And we got to resume this on Wednesday. We have to resume this on Wednesday. Let me remind you that today, according to Mike Reckman, today, the 14th day of October 2024, is 95 days since the said Brutus proceeded on leave to facilitate this investigation into money laundering and financial impropriety. 95 days since he proceeded. And we're getting drips and drips now, because we understand now over the weekend on the 10th, Stabrook News is reporting that Brutus told SOCU, that is a special organized crime unit, that $46 million he deposited at the Demerara Bank was wedding and Christmas gifts. Oh, my mama. When I see this thing, wedding and Christmas gift, I made a post. Guy in the police force, step one, are coming back. Because when you getting them type of wedding gifts and Christmas gifts, a man told me that I better go back, and even if I commit bigamy by marrying again, that type of money can pay whatever fine and all this other thing the court likes to fine me. That is what some people say. Money there, $46 million deposited at the bank. And I can read and we can talk about it. Because in addition to this, we hear they get wedding planner. So in addition to this $46.4 million, we understand too that according to the report, yesterday's report in Stabrook News, they're saying that the top cop told SOCU that he accepted an envelope with $8.5 million from a businessman to finance Brutus' wedding. What a more than cauliflower. We tell them about this Soxan phenomenon, where the more you wriggle, is the more you can sing. So the more they're talking, continue to speak, continue to talk, continue to write, is more they're wriggling. And let me tell you about this wedding planner. Share the life, man. Share the life. The thing will get sweet. This wedding planning that we're talking about, as you will come to observe, is executive service. You just carry your invitation, and the planner is going to make all the arrangements, including getting the source of the funds for the wedding. Hear this, man, hear this. This is advertising free for them. This wedding planner that we're referring to, if you take an invitation to him to tell him that you're getting married, he is going to arrange not only the place to the wedding, not only the food for all the guests and all this type of thing, but he is going to also make sure that he sources the funds for the wedding. And hear this, if you throw in a little sweet talk, the man might find the bride and the groom for you too. So if you go there as the bride, you'll find the bridegroom and the bride for you as well. This is exclusive and executive arrangement. But here what the thing in Stabrook News yesterday said, after coming under investigation by SOCU for money laundering, Deputy Commissioner acting, there's no Deputy Commissioner acting. They continue to make this mistake. In one thing they say Assistant Commissioner, now they talk about Deputy Commissioner. I make up your mind. Make up your mind, Stabrook News and others. right? They said Deputy Commissioner acting of the Guyana Police Force, Calvin Brutus, told investigators that he deposited $46.4 million on the 17th of January this year, which were proceeds from his wedding on November the 11th last year and Christmas gifts. A statement on May the 14th, 2024, seen by Stabrook News, paints a picture of permissiveness in the force and access to wide variety of fringe benefits. Brutus said that on December 12, 2023, after his honeymoon and a period of work, he sorted out his wedding gifts and prepared a declaration on the source of fund, but was unable to deposit it that day. He said his busy schedule prevented him from being able to deposit it in December last year. During the month of December, he said that he also received incentives and awards, stipends, and extra duty money from the police finance department. He also received gifts in his personal capacity from friends, but again, due to his hectic schedule, was unable to sort them out. He said he then placed all the Christmas gifts with the wedding gifts in the same room of his premises. Quote, after the busy Christmas period, I sorted out the gifts received for Christmas 2023. I recognized that it was a large amount of cash and decided to promptly deposit same in the bank as a precaution. On January the 16th this year, he said he prepared a declaration of source of funds for the Christmas gifts being $8.48 million. On January 17, 2024, he said that he gave the teller at Demerara Bank Limited the declaration with copies of the wedding invitation and certificate of marriage, cash and check in the total of $46.4 million. The teller deposited the money and provided him with a deposit receipt. Show back, the story got in sweet. On May the 14th, 2024, at about 8 a.m., he said he was contacted by Assistant Superintendent Rup Narayan and informed about the allegation of money laundering made by the Financial Intelligence Unit. Quote, I told Assistant Superintendent Rup Narayan that the person's relatives and friends would be willing to assist him in the investigation by giving statements to support my declaration provided upon making the deposit at the Demerara Bank Limited. I then contacted relatives and friends that presented me with financial gifts for my wedding and Christmas 2023 and asked them to give statements to investigators of the Special Organized Crime Unit. I later submitted this statement, which is true and correct. In the earlier parts of his statement, he spoke about the culture of gift giving. And he says, quote, during the 25 years tenure, I have developed many friendships with people of all walks of life and maintained such relationships. These relationships have helped greatly during the execution of my duties as a law enforcement official and private capacity too. I have received many personal gifts before becoming a policeman and throughout my tenure, and I understand this to be the cultural phenomenon in Guyana, he said. He also addressed a range of benefits available. He said that he resided in a government building and did not have to expend personal finances on rent and utilities. His current position includes a police vehicle and driver, a maid, one security person on a 24-hour shift system, meals, medical benefits, a postpaid cellular plan, and allowances for the Police Credit Union, the Guyana Police Cooperative Consumer Society, and the Special Constabulary Board. Quote, essentially, there is hardly any requirement for me to spend the money received as salary and emoluments. There it is saved in my Demerara Bank account, end of quote, he said. The government and police have been silent on the investigation. Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson, at the end of August, told Stabrook News that he was awaiting an update from the Special Organized Crime Unit on the probe that was launched. There has been no further word from him. On July 12, Ben announced that allegations of financial impropriety made against Brutus who are being investigated by SOCO. Mr. Brutus has proceeded on leave to facilitate the full and complete investigation by SOCO. That's what Ben is quoted as saying. There will be no action in relation to any promotion of Mr. Brutus under these circumstances. Any promotion will be subject to the outcome of the investigation. SOCO has already commenced its investigation, and the government will be guided by the outcome of such investigation, Ben said. Reports had swirled around Brutus and others in the police force, but Eve Leary has shrugged them off. Now let me analyze this thing, man. Let me bring in CC first to analyze what was said, and then I'm gonna take my part. I read it, CC can take a little button now, and then I'm gonna come back. CC, you would have read it too. Let's let the student understand what is being said here, man. Go ahead.
Well, let me go down to, I like go down to the law, and the police standing order number 7. They have the police standing order that they say reading review. They say that peer reading review. They charge 26 people go to court and give evidence, and the marshal there is no scintilla of evidence. Whatever is this standing order say, and it's page 12 to 14, so they could read it. But just give them a little brief thing, and it's under commendation and awards, gifts from members of the public. And here we're saying, members of the force will not accept rewards or gifts of any kind from members of the public without the authority of the commissioner. If any member of the force is offered a reward or gift, he will report the fact for the decision of the commissioner. Let me go over it. Members of the force will not accept rewards or gifts of any kind from members of the public without the authority of the commissioner. If any member of the force is offered a reward or gift, he will report the fact for the decision of the commissioner of police. I hear, according to the statement there, that Brutus is alleging that the culture of collecting gifts from since he joined the force years ago, and the culture of collecting gifts and gifts and gifts. And you gotta be careful when you're collecting gifts. We heard about person delivering gifts. Is it gift for something to be done? Is it gift that you're giving people gift but you expect something in reward for? Is it gift for firearm? And then there's a whole lot of things there that they mention about some things that collecting from the police co-op society, the constabulary, the credit union. And let me mention that when they go to these meetings at the police, it is very lucrative, police co-op, collecting money to attend a meeting. The special constabulary, money to collect to attend a meeting. And this big one, the credit union, every meeting you go to, you're getting you're walking away with $50,000, $50,000 for every meeting you go to. And the awards they mentioned, hey, people getting $1 million award, $800,000 award as incentives. So the whole thing to me is a whole corrupt procedure, a whole corrupt procedure. And then you're collecting from members of the public. The public don't give you anything freely because they want something from you. They talk about quid pro quo, something for something. And when they start give you, then it's when the corruption will start. Then it's when you go down the slippery slope of corruption. So the statement there on the face of it it reeks of corruption, that it open up itself for corruption. And the thing is that when the gifts thing come in, later on, the police will demand by minutes. When the gifts now come as how they had it come, you have the demand by minutes. So they need to really look at it very, very carefully. And if they're comfortable receiving gifts left, right, and center, it's going to be that persons looking forward for something in exchange, looking for something for something. Hand wash hand, make hand come clean. You scratch me back, and I gonna scratch you back. And there's a culture thing they're talking about.
Well, let me continue to analyze. And yeah, share this live. Give me thumbs up, share the live. More to come. The thing getting sweeter and sweeter. More to come, more to come. Right? Now let me go through and analyze some notes that I've made. Brutus is saying in that statement, according to Samrock News, that he received incentive and awards, stipend, and extra duty money from the police finance department. The police finance department. Then he goes, so I want to ask a question, and the investigator, who they say, who is the investigator? Let me address that before I go any further. Who is the investigator? The investigator is some assistant superintendent, right? Hold on, the assistant superintendent, he said he was contacted, listen to this, on May 14, 2024, about 8 a.m., Brutus said he was contacted by Assistant Superintendent Rupert Ryan and informed about the allegation of money laundering made by the Financial Intelligence Unit. They made a report to SOCO about money laundering, and Assistant Superintendent Rupert Ryan contacted Brutus about this. Right? An assistant superintendent. Understand this what we're saying here? The assistant superintendent. The first thing I want to ask, I don't know this person, what is his record? What is his track record of conducting investigations of this nature? I don't know. So perhaps they would want to clarify and clear. You see, these are some of the questions that the media should ask. Rupert Ryan is the investigator. All right, that's what I said. What was his background? To give us some semblance of quietness to say that this man is competent and capable of conducting this investigation, an assistant superintendent. And one of the things I want to ask, police here, what kind of statement Brutus gave? If you told him about this matter on the 14th of May at 8 a.m., he said he was contacted by Superintendent Rupert Ryan and informed. How was he contacted? Was it by a telephone call? Did Rupert Ryan go to him, or was he summoned to the office? Was he cautioned? Is this statement that they refer to a caution statement? You see, all these are things that will bear on the credibility of this investigation. Because if the Financial Intelligence Unit, according to what Rupert Ryan informed him about an allegation of money laundering made by the Financial Intelligence Unit, police will tell you that this required that this man should have been called in. And if he failed to respond to the call, he should have been arrested. Well, of course, you would have made your record about the report made about money laundering, serious report, money laundering. He should have been arrested. He should have been cautioned and told that that he's not obliged to make any statement unless he wishes to do so. So the statement, let's say he gave some statement he gave here, we don't know if it's a caution statement or if it's an ordinary witness statement, right? So that is something to query. And then you have here, he said he performed extra duty. Among the other sources of extra duty, what type of extra duty would an assistant commissioner of police be performing? You got to tell us that. You got to tell us what type of extra duty. Don't come and tell me that you perform extra duty, where you perform this extra duty, when you perform this extra duty. What is the duration of the extra duty? The police regulation requires all extra duty funds, and it's a junior ranks. They perform extra duty. It's supposed to be paid into the police finance office, the welfare fund of the police office, finance office to be accounted for, and then paid back to the ranks. They're not supposed to get it directly. So where did he perform this extra duty? All of these are questions. I don't know if they ask those questions. And they say, how much incentive and awards did he receive? The man said he received incentive and awards. And it is left at that. You got to tell me how much $1 million you receive as incentive, how much $100,000 you receive as award. And these monies are paid through the police finance office. So there's going to be a paper trail. There's going to be record where you can do an audit to determine how much money you get through these sources. Then you got to ask here too, stipend. How much money you receive a stipend? The master, you get stipend. You get all of these things are there. And say, let them wriggle. The more they talk, it's success. Every time they open their mouth, they're sinking themselves more. That is providing a proper investigation is done. And that is why we continue to say, and I will say again, SOCU is incapable of conducting a credible investigation in this matter. SOCU can't make it. SOCU cannot conduct a proper investigation. This thing is too far-reaching. So finance, master, you get extra duty allowance, you get awards. Finance got to know. You got to get vouchers. You got to get all everything we signed for this money is there. Have they gone to collect those documents to see whether it or not it is so? And they go on to say, and I get here, from whom did he receive the gifts? You can't just say you get gift. You must know. Nobody, you can't come and tell me you know if a man gave you. With the amount of money we're talking about here, you got to know who gave you the money. Is that a man pass and push a little $100 your way? This got to be, for come up to that amount, you got to be hundreds of thousands, perhaps even million at any one pop. And you got to know. You have to know who, you got to tell the investigator, who are the people who gave you this money. And one of the things I find very, very troubling here is this part where he say, and the quote, I told Assistant Superintendent Rupnarayan that the persons, relatives, and friends would be willing to assist him in the investigation by giving statement to support my declaration provided upon making the deposits at the Demerara Bank. And here what you going to go on to say, here what it is alleged that he went on to say, I meaning Brutus, I then contacted relatives and friends that presented me with financial gifts from my wedding and Christmas 2023 and asked them to give statements to investigators at the Special Organized Crime Unit. He contacted, that is how he does the investigation. What should happen is that when you're interrogating him, not questioning, when you're interrogating him, that's providing he did not say that he after being cautioned, he said that he decided to maintain silence. If you're going to interview him, you have to ask either who are the people who gave you this gift, these relatives and friends. You take down the name, you can take down the contact information. And you, the investigator, have to contact these people, not the person who is being investigated, contacting them and asking them to provide statement on his behalf. What type of nonsense is that? Is that how, again, I say SOCU is not capable of conducting this investigation properly. All of these things are now being revealed. Then it goes on. Then it goes on. I am saying this too now. This is me. From my experience, gifts in the form of alcoholic beverages. I was a commander. I operated out of operations at police headquarters. Christmas time, yeah, you get gifts. Some people send a little Johnny Walker, a little scotch, little vodka, and so on. That's the type of gift I know about. That's the type of cookies and this type of thing people will send to you. In the force, the culture that I know, that for senior persons at your board there, the ranks will pass the outer rung and make a little thing, give you some type of gift, maybe a little piece of jewelry or some other gift for your board day. When you retire, they also give you retirement gift, and the force presents you and your wife with a retirement gift. That is the culture that I know of. But me, I know this culture where $46-something million is being given as gift as Christmas time and so on. I don't know of that. And then to go on to say, when the teller, you see again, I said this is a far-reaching investigation. The teller at the bank, the Demerara Bank, they say, accepted $46 million from a customer as and a declaration, well, along with a wedding invitation and a certificate of marriage, and that is sufficient to say that this money is legit. A wedding invitation and certificate of marriage, $46.4 million, and that did not raise any eyebrows at the time. This is January when this deposit was made. Well, they said the Financial Investigation Unit became involved, so we don't know if because of this deposit that triggered the involvement of the Financial Investigation Unit. So to be fair to them, it might very well have done so, right? Then it goes on to say, as I said, why a person who is being investigated for money laundering had to make contact with relatives or friends. I said that again already. He did not have to, the man said he did not have to expend personal finances on rent, utilities. As far as I know, back in my day, things changed. Because in my day, if you lived in a police house, you might live in, if you live in a, they get different type of quarters. I understand now they get the senior officers' quarters where light free, I could understand, telephone free, and everything free. Does he live there with his family? I don't know. The man said getting meals. So they're providing meals to his family as well. So he ain't got to spend his salary. They're providing, I know that meals thing, Larry Lewis introduced it. Larry Lewis introduced for officers to get a free lunch. That's a free you and paying, but the state will provide you with a free lunch. And then it started in tongue, and then it was expanded to divisions as well. And then it started to filter down to the other ranks. I don't know if the junior ranks getting a free meal or if they got to pay. Perhaps the police can tell us, because the Brutus is claiming, and I know even back in my day, officers, not senior officers, officers. You go to the officers' mess at lunchtime, you got a meal. You get a meal. The only time you're going to get breakfast and dinner, you get a lunch rather. The only time you get breakfast and dinner is if the force is in line. If you're on standby. Other than that, breakfast and dinner, you're on your own. You have to find your own breakfast and dinner. I don't know what is going on now. I don't know. But I know that when I lived in police quarters for the many years that I did, yes, you don't have to pay rent, but I have to pay my light bill. I have to pay the telephone bill for my house. I know later on when I became commander and so on, you're provided with a telephone, a cellular phone. When cellular phone became popular, you're given a telephone and the government pays for that. The police force pays for that. I know that. But to say that you don't have, I have to spend my salary, because even if those things are provided, what happened to your family? You have to buy clothes, you got a child, I think, you have to buy Pampers. So all of these things are being provided to you. Again, if this investigation is done, all of these things are going to be revealed. Man, say you're maid and security. Now, if you live in this quarters, you say you live in police quarters, how come you're entitled to maid and security? How come investigators are not going to find out all of that? How come you are entitled to maid and security? Sisi, take over. You got a very important call coming through. You got to answer. So take over. Hold on.
Yeah, we said before, when we said over and over again that Suku cannot do a proper investigation in this matter. This thing is wide ranging, very wide ranging. And all Suku is doing is just nibbling around the edges of the investigation. Nibbling around the edges of the investigation. That's what they're doing, nibbling around the edges of the investigation. Yeah, this is statement according to the what we got from Suku. Yeah, what Butas is saying that he's gonna send his people who give him the gifts to make reports for them to collect statements instead of the investigators do those kind of thing then. And then this thing has gone national because if the financial investigating unit is involved, and they only involved in just telling Suku about allegation made against Brutus. They gotta do deep investigation. That's what we saying. We Suku can't do it. We need international people because this thing is wide ranging. And then when you look at what's going on in the police force, all the funds they look up, the welfare fund, the law and driver fund, the fine funds, all the funds that they put their hand into. Imagine you going to a meeting, a credit union meeting, and at the end of the meeting you walking away with $50,000. You imagine, very, very, very lucrative. So we're saying that there got to be a proper investigation by competent people, not Suku. Suku can't do it. They all are doing is, as I'm going to say again, they're nibbling around the edges of the investigation, and it can't work. So we're gonna back to square one. Months ago, since in May, they allegedly get a statement from Brutus since in May, and nothing can be done. You get June, you get July, you get August, you get September, November, October. In May, and we see one circling about the place. They say this quarter give one in May too, and nothing is being done. Nothing is being done. Let Suku take a back seat and let competent people come and investigate, or next year this time going to reach really around the same position. I saying all they're doing nibbling around the edges of the investigation.
They are nibbling around the edges of the investigation. They are nibbling around the edges. But let me continue. Because I made the point, but the man saying that he live in quarters, so where you get everything. But then this maid and security, what is this maid and security about? I missed out when I was the senior man there. I remember I was the second most senior man for a number of years. I never had a maid. I never had security. So all these are things these people implemented to benefit themselves, right? Now the man talk about meals and medical benefits. So what medical benefits? I don't know of any special medical benefits that officers are entitled to. Then he goes on to talk here about well, I said, what about the food? Even if you get any meals as well, want your family and eating, or are the police providing for them as well? And then I get here a note to say, what is the salary of an assistant commissioner? I understand it's like about $450,000 a month, right? Assistant commissioner salary. Car allowance and other allowances can bring it to $500,000 a month. I want you to take out the taxes and so on, you still ain't breaking $500,000. So even if you don't spend it all year, give you the benefit. Even if you don't spend it the whole year, we're talking about. Hold on, let me decline. Calls coming in and knocking me off this program. Yeah, even if you didn't spend your salary, it's 500,000 a year, less than 500,000. I give you the benefit. 1 year, that's 6 million. That's 6 million. He has been there for like about 3 or 4 years. That we said 6 by 4. You not spend nothing. 6 fours are 24. If my math still correct, there's $24 million you would have earned in salary and emoluments for the 4-year period. It's not been the 4 years as assistant commissioner. Because he's one that got promoted in 2022. This thing requires a proper and thorough investigation. And then, as was alluded to earlier, allegations are made that the Police Central Welfare Fund is decimated. The police fine fund, and in case you don't know, the fine fund is where the rank commits a breach and they fine you. 2 days pay, 3 days pay, up to 10 days pay. The law permits the commission to fine you. And they're fining you. So in this hard guava season, they're still taking out people's salary, money from people's salary to go into a fund. And it is said that the fund is being abused. People have to go on hustle because if a rank, let me say a rank get fined 2 or 3 days pay. and it comes out of his salary ain't even $100,000, and you take it out 2 or 3 days pay. Yes, people bring up on the road, and also that's why the corruption is so rife. You understand what's going on here? That they decimate the fund. They talk too about the learner driver fund. There's a fund that introduced when I was traffic chief. Yeah, check it out. That is one of the biggest in terms of size, in terms of money, the learner driving fund. Damage, I understand. Damage. Then they get the other fund we're talking about here, special constabulary. Investigators must look at the special constabulary fund. In case you don't know, they got different sections of the special constabulary. A section that used to be National Guard Service is there, and they provide service to certain corporations and so on, and those corporations have to pay the money to the police to pay these people. You have to investigate it to find out what's going on. Investigate, because their money don't come from government funds. You might not know this, but this is new information to you. They are separate branches in the special constabulary. What we call the regular special, government paying for them. But then there's another set that used to be the Geistak and used to be National Guard Service. They providing service to agencies and semi-autonomous agencies, and those agencies have to pay to the police a sum of money for those ranks to be paid. And you check to see what's going on with them fund, with these corrupt people. And I made the point, you cannot put cat to watch milk. You can. The Chief Justice on the 28th of June 2021, in a ruling to the challenge brought by Brutus to the promotions by the Police Service Commission, which had not been made, the Chief Justice remarked that she found Assistant Commissioner Calvin Brutus to be self-serving. The records are there. Check out what self-serving mean. It is there. It's not me saying so. It's not me saying so. I'm just repeating what the Chief Justice of Guyana said. I said you cannot put cat to watch milk. They're going to drink out the milk. And perhaps that's what's happening. And when you talk about these boards, let me understand, based on what we are hearing here, you know what happened? They got the Credit Union Board. They got the Police Consumers Co-op Board. They got the same board dealing with special constabulary and all of them. It would appear as these senior people, some of these senior people install themselves on these boards and drawing big. Mr. Conway mentioned you got a meeting, $50,000. And I'm sure whether they go or not, $50,000 they get in. And then they call in the meetings frequently. And especially, I am especially aggrieved about what has been done to what is alleged to have been done to the Police Central Welfare Fund. Because there's a fund, as it says, the welfare for ranks. Ranks are sick in hospital, you want a little loan for something, Police Central Welfare Fund, if you're not a member of the credit union. They're supposed to take care of that. I understand people going for some small money, a little $20,000 because of the need, somebody dead for them or something they want, some child school. They can't get it because the fund broke. Men living lavishly off the fund, big party, big sport, Central Welfare Fund. And you telling me that Soku is competent to investigate this matter? No way. You got Assistant Superintendent Rupnarayan. I didn't even know who is he. I don't know who is he. What experience he has in investigating these type of matters? What experience? Tell us. Perhaps he get asked other special qualification and he has a long track record of investigating similar matters. But tell us so that we can get some confidence that this investigation will be properly done. Right? But this whole thing, the more you wait, I said it's 95 days now since Ben Brutus gone on leave to facilitate this investigation. And the Police Cooperative Communication Unit issued a statement that Brutus requested to go on leave to facilitate this investigation. And 95 days after, more than 3 months after, we now hearing through Sabruk News that Brutus gave a statement sometime in May. He was approached in May. And we hearing talking about statement, and we going to end up this day because he got to come back on Wednesday. The wedding planner. Before yeah, share. The wedding planner. Yesterday, Sabruk News is reporting that the top cop told Soku he accepted envelope, singular envelope, with $8.5 million from businessman to finance Brutus' wedding. Oh, Lado, corruption, this thing stinks to high heaven. That is what Stabrook News is reporting in yesterday's edition. That top cop, referring to Ikin, said he received an envelope. He accepted an envelope with 8.5. Well, first of all, the envelope got to be a massive envelope because $8.5 million, the largest denomination Guyana gets is a 5,000, a Granger. And to get 8.5, 8 million can be 16 wads. Plus the 5 is the next one. So it's 17 wads of $500 bill, $100 bill, $5,000 bill each. There's a massive envelope you got to get to hold all of that, right? And then let me read a part because we're going to come back to this. As silence continues over Soku money laundering probe into Assistant Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus. Congratulations, Stabrook. You should get it right now. Assistant Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus. The Sunday Stabrook has learned that Top Cop Clifton Ikin submitted a statement to the investigators acknowledging that he collected an envelope with $8.5 million in cash from a businessman to offset the cost of Brutus's wedding at the Pegasus Atlantic Conference Center. That is why he says there, Ikin's statement to the investigators, seen by Sunday Stabrook. Ikin's statement to the investigators, seen by Sunday Stabrook, will raise further concerns about the culture in the police force in accepting money and incentives from business community, despite the fact that this could undermine the role of law enforcers. The statement by Ikin was meant to corroborate Brutus's contention that Brutus has collected a large amount of monetary gifts at his wedding, which were later deposited at the bank and which then triggered a money laundering investigation by the Special Organized Crime Unit. Now I'll read the rest here. I'm not going to read the rest here because I noted in today's paper now, we're going to come back to this on Wednesday, but in today's Stabrook News, they're saying, head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, Assistant Commissioner of Police Fazil Karabash, has denied a report in yesterday's Sunday Stabrook that the top cop Clifton Ikin submitted a statement to the Soku investigators acknowledging that he collected an envelope with $8.5 million in cash from a businessman to offset the cost of Brutus's wedding at the Pegasus Suit Atlantic Conference Center. They quote, Soku would like to place on record that that the ongoing investigation has no such statement from Ikin, and that no such statement about Ikin exists in the file. Let me read this carefully. I'm coming back Wednesday with this, Hear what it says. Soku would like to place on record that the ongoing investigation has no such statement from Ikin, and that no such statement about Ikin exists in the file. Oh, that the police, you see, police in nearby, it didn't exist in the file, but I have seen what purports to be a copy of the statement with a signature that looks like Ikin's signature about the same money story. About this story money. And it goes into details about where the money go and who carry the money. As I said, we're going to come back on Wednesday. I'm whetting your appetite there. I'm whetting your appetite. We're going to come back on Wednesday. And hear this before I bring in Mr. Conway. Brutus is saying that he was approached on the 14th of May, 2024. This year, 14th of May, 2024. Right? On May 14, 24, at about 8 a.m., he said that he was contacted by Assistant Superintendent Rupner Ryan and informed about the allegation of money laundering made by the Financial Intelligence Unit. That is May 2024. And in July, let me show you all again. In July, around July 11th or 12th, Ikin, the man where they want to promote commissioner, right? That, hold on, let me find it. The man who want to promote the commissioner, Ikin, is telling the world.
Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken told.
So another one. They got so much of them. Hold on. Let me find the right one for you, man. Here it goes.
Guyana's acting commissioner of police Clifton Hicken today laid to rest claims that his deputy commissioner of police acting Calvin Brutus is on the investigation by the Special Organized Crime Unit. Hicken spoke with reporters on the sidelines of the first legal conference on criminal justice reform at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown.
It's about Mr. Brutus and the multi-million-dollar deposits. Is it true or not?
No, it's not true. And I made a release already through our system.
We didn't see that.
Yeah, I made a release. It's in the system. There was no investigation going on whatsoever.
And no deposits.
Nothing whatsoever.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
There is no investigation whatsoever. No deposit whatsoever. And on the 14th of May, 2024, Brutus said that he was approached by Assistant Superintendent Rupna Ryan, who informed him about allegations of money laundering and made by the Financial Intelligence Unit. And that is the man that the president want to go breakneck speed to appoint as commissioner, a lying person. You want to tell me this thing started, FIU, the Financial Intelligence Unit, made this report in May, and they approached Brutus' account, Brutus' statement, told about this thing, and in July, Ikin is telling people, no report made, no investigation, no money lodged. And people are not going to come out and say that this man is not suited for this position. As a matter of fact, let me say this, he should be investigated, because that to me is an attempt to cover up, to pervert the course of justice. That just there. That just there. Let me bring in Mr. Conway for his closing remarks. See, we got to come back on this thing on Wednesday. They got enough more to go with this thing. All were being people fighting and all were being revealing now. As even somebody just sent me something about another revelation about some $500 million. We're going to deal with it on Wednesday. But let me get your closing remarks, my brother.
All right, we will come back to it on Monday and Wednesday. But just two issues, allegations circling that a certain rank in 4B cannot account for $1.5 million from the storeroom, from the station. And what they did, they transferred him to another station in the same 4B and give him some time to find back the money. And then I hear Pastor, I remember Pastor was on the East Coast, and big letter writing between him and the head of the CID, Branham. And they transfer him to the strategic unit. Now, understand, he gone now to the audit and inspection unit because of financial irregularities again. Understand, he wrote the allegations are that he wrote some letter complaining that the funds for the strategic unit, the funds are being misused. They're not being used for what they were approved for. So here again, more financial irregularities, region 4B, and now the head of the strategic unit moving out because he writes strongly, hey, you're misusing these funds. These funds were approved for this unit, and y'all doing your own thing with it. So he gone quietly. Those are allegations. I don't know how true they are, but those are allegations which we will find out later on.
When we get allegations, we'll find out who is the alligator. Can't you see it? Who is the alligator? Yes. And folks, I can't leave without telling you, hold on, I can't leave without giving you this one, man. I got a friend who they are here now because I see him making a comment. He loved this one. He got it as he ringtone.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su? My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims
Sit there and fabricate.
He's a friend of ours. You see, I can't leave any day without playing that clip, man. I enjoy it so much. It makes my day to see them squirm, to see him squirm, makes my day. And I'll be saying again, these things have to be properly investigated. This allegation of financial impropriety, leveled against Brutus, it has tentacles. It has tentacles. Brutus implicating a lot of people here, because when you talk about allowances and awards and all these things, the finance people got to get a record. Who gave him this award? Did the commissioner give him award? Did the commissioner give award? How much the commissioner gave himself as award? When the junior ranks down at the bottom, they're struggling. They're struggling. Police welfare fund, they can't get a little loan to borrow to buy essential stuff. And these people sporting brother on the police central welfare fund. Folks, stay well. More to come. As I tell you, more to come. This thing can't done, sir. No done as you like. It can't done. Every day, I see over the weekend, letters have been written, pointing out because they have the same gifting. It has been alleged that the head of Soku gave gift to at the wedding. That has been alleged. And as I told y'all, let me end by saying this: you want a wedding planner, contact the police force. You want a wedding planner. They're gonna plan the wedding. They're gonna organize the venue. They're gonna, they're gonna organize food. They're gonna organize to get the payment for the venue. And if you are lucky, they might even find the bride or the groom. Just carry the invitation. That is what is going on. Folks, I encourage you once again to stay well. And God spare life. Wednesday can be the 16th of October. If God spare your life, we're going to be here again to bring you more. And I bet you that between now and Wednesday, just a matter of a day or so, more things can come up. You're going to hear more. Because everybody now is like when you open, you got a room as cockroaches and swarm, where turn on the light, they're scamping all over. That's what's going on now. Everybody rushing to bring down somebody else. So sit back and watch the ride. And until then, stay well. Bye.